Peace and greetings, light beings. Welcome to the Prophecy Chronicles, where basically you will get a collection of video chats with a friend and I. We have been talking over the years about information that has been unfolding right in front of our eyes. I just recently started filming these conversations. So hopefully you can have some understanding because the content might be a little touchy. We have to take the emotions out of it. Why? Because we're not biased on either side, left or right. So it's all about the information. And what information is this that you ask? Well, this is information that's downloaded. Downloaded from where? Downloaded from source. What is source? Well, source is the creation of the universe. And source lives in you. Not only does it live in you, it is you. So, these downloads coming from source is basically explaining the direction and the course of where we're headed here on Earth. So what this information is supposed to be used for is to either take it in one direction or the other. So when you get this information, it's called footnotes. Now these footnotes that we get are all over the place. You have what people call the Bible. You have other philosophical content, like literature in certain books and things like that. But it's only pieces to the puzzle. And if you don't have the knowing, then you would not be able to sift through the jargon of it all. Now, what is the jargon? Well, the jargon is everything that you've been programmed to know ever since you've gotten here on Earth. Now, this jargon is also made up of just man-made information. So, you will always have, with any lie, there's a little bit of truth. With any truth, there's a little bit of lie. But in between there, that fine line, is the absolute truth. And how do you find that absolute truth? You find it through meditation and plugging in. Now, how do I know? How would you know how to plug in? Well, that's what I'm here for. You can ask me any questions, and I will try to do my best to answer them for you. But plugging in is also a technique that you have to learn in order to get the true downloads. Now, when you get these downloads, you will have a whole different language to talk. And then we can really talk. But when this information comes in, it's really important information. The main thing, or the main reason for this existence, period, is so that that energy that's out there, whether it's negative or positive, that energy that's out there is connected within the vibrations of the plasma that's around you. And it can heighten your level of understanding in ways that, well, quite frankly, right now you probably wouldn't be able to understand. But I guarantee you that your subconscious understands it. The problem is, you have to open yourself to it. Now, how do you open yourself to it? Well, you have to forget everything you've ever learned and relearn through the darkness. And when you learn through that darkness, then comes the light. There are 5 elements to the keys of this universe. You are a light. You are living water inside of an avatar. And this avatar can be controlled by your light. It's already being controlled by your light. But there's a mechanism that we do not utilize. And that mechanism will control your avatar's cells. It will control your avatar's vitals. It will control all your being so that you can utilize 100% of this thing that we call the brain. Did you know? I don't know if I should tell you this. Alright, I'm gonna tell you. Did you know that just with your thought, you can change your DNA? Don't believe me? That's why you need to learn the 5 elements. Once you've learned the 5th element, and I know, don't joke on me or anything, people. I know there was a movie called The 5th Element. Okay? But that's another thing. You see the movies that you see out there? You see the science fiction that you see? Let's go back to what I just said a few minutes ago. That in every lie, there's a little truth. In every truth, there's a little lie. All the information that comes into your head, whether it's a dream or not, this dream is information. that thought that you have, everyone gets that same thought. But there's some people who are open to it at that moment, some people who are not open to it at that moment. So it skips a couple of people. But I guarantee you that that same thought that you're having, someone else is having it around the globe. Haven't you ever had a moment where you were like, I had that idea. I thought about that. You ever seen an invention of some sort and you looked at it and you say, man, I thought about that before. That could have been mine. Well, you're right. It is yours. It's everyone's. We all get the same information at the same time. Let me give you an analogy. You know how, sometimes, people have people dry their clothes on a clothes ring, clothes string. Okay. Well, thoughts and the information that we get, that information is like on a clothes string. So the clothes string, let's just say they're all pinned up and they're all going over our heads. We all get that same information. As some people will grab it and take it, some people will just let it pass by. There you go. We are all connected. Now, what do we do with this information? Well, this information is very important because it's going to help us achieve double consciousness. What is double consciousness? It is the doorway between two worlds. And it would be like you're in your home, and when you go out your door, you're in a whole different dimension. Now, why would we want that? What is that all about? Well, I'll explain that a little later. But right now, if you would like, just subscribe, plug in to the information that I'm about to unleash. Because we're going to need many light soldiers. Because there's not just a war on Earth. There's a war between two worlds. And a war doesn't have to mean that it's a bad thing. A war just means a tug of war. A war of the minds. A war of the gods. Because make no mistake, you are a god. Once you realize that, and you take this information in, you are on your way to understanding the meaning of this life here. Everything that you learned when you came here, the environment that you encountered, because everybody's environment is a little different. So that environment that you encountered, that's not the only environment that there is, but it scoped you. Why? Because children, when you get here, that light is still there. But yet, you're like in a daze and you're not sure where you are or how you've become. So, because of that, what we do is we copy and we mimic. That's the reason why the bridge has not been bonded yet. But the information flows through. And it's all around us. And with that information, we have technology. Just look around you. Everything you see is a manifestation. A manifestation of what? It's a manifestation to take you higher in order to get you to the achievement of double consciousness. Right now, I don't know if I should even tell you this. Right now, do you know where you live? You. I'm not talking to your avatar. I'm talking to straight through your eye, your third eye, and I'm talking to your light. Do you know who you are? Do you know where you live? My light brother, my light sister, you live on Earth. Or do you? Because it's not Earth. It's heaven. I'll explain that later. But plug in. Subscribe. And let's achieve together. Peace.